Hey guys, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Well, I guess I should say a new series on the channel. Yes, so I'm attempting a bit of a challenge here. So I'm going to try and take one team throughout all 5 confessions. So that's going to be the exact same heroes, you know. So if one of them dies before we get to the final boss, we basically lose, because it needs to be the same people. If we lose one, that they're not the same person, you know. So we're going to try and keep them. So that means that we're going to need a very flexible team composition. And I'm excited to show you what we're going to be using. There's probably two of the members that you could probably guess pretty easily, but I think you'll be surprised with the other 2. So yeah, one thing that is going to be very useful is going to be memories. So basically, every time we win, every time we complete a confession, we're going to be able to add memories to our guys, starting from here, and then get another one here, and here. I'm going to move over to the actual character selection, and I'll explain from there, essentially. So yeah, I'll see you there. Alright, obviously we're starting off with Denial. Alright, so here's going to be the most interesting and probably hardest part of this entire run, which is picking who we're taking with us. Now, I'm going to get the 2 obvious ones out of the way first, okay? So if you've played this game at all, and you know, pretty good at the game, you know Man-at-Arms is gonna be one that we're always gonna have. Because every team, no matter how you slice it, needs a tank and someone who can de-stress the party. And he does both of those roles. And he's just incredible in general. He can dish out damage, he can block, he can defend, de-stress, he'll even do your taxes for you. He's incredible. Man-at-Arms always goes into this party. There is no way we could not have Man-at-Arms in this party. The next one that is probably quite obvious that we're going to take is going to be Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor is undeniably the best healer in this game, in my personal experience. Let me just go over to our skills. This, being able to heal and remove any dot from the target, is incredible. And when this is upgraded too, it does herself too, so that's so much value. Yes, it's only got 3 uses, but you shouldn't be in the fight that long either. So this is just incredible. There is the Act 3 boss. This is insane against, and I'll explain that more when we get there. But yeah, this is insane value, especially with Man-at-Arms, who's just making so many shields all the time with like Defender. Let's see, where is it? Stand Fast. There's even, you know, this bolster skill even makes more shields too. So it's always getting value from Interim Science, which is just incredible. So those were the 2 obvious ones. Here's where things get interesting, okay? So, who else am I taking on this ride? Well, we need we need someone who does some damage now, right? That's kind of how things go, right? But we're not taking the Highwayman. We're taking the Grave Robber. Why am I taking the Grave Robber over the Highwayman? That's a great question, I'm glad you asked. Essentially, we need this team to be really, really flexible, okay? The Highwayman is good at doing one thing, essentially. I mean, if you go over to Yellowhand, he kinda can do another thing, but he can't do as many different things than Grave Robber. Grave Robber, she has, you know, she has damage, yes, she's got dots, she's got stealth, she's got healing, she's even got taunt, okay? She's got taunt as well, just because why not? So yeah. After much consideration, Grave Robber is definitely the one that I want to take on this journey, just because of how many different roles I can fit her into. Well, not essentially roles, she's going to be doing damage mostly, but it's just against the wide variety of bosses that we're going to have to face, Grave Robber is just far better than just going Highwayman, in my personal opinion. So she's going in. Right, so now here's the big one, alright? Who is the final person who's going to be joining us? I'll give you 10 seconds to write your predictions in the comments. Who's it gonna be? Okay? I bet you'll never guess this one. Well, you might guess it, and that's fine. You know, there's not that many to choose from. But yeah. Alright, you done writing? Alright, here it comes. You guys ready? We're gonna be taking the Occultist. Now, the Occultist got some recent buffs that make a lot more of his kit a lot more usable. But that's not the only reason why I'm taking the Occultist on this journey. The other reason is that he can fill a lot of roles. He can be a bit of a healer, and a bit of a, you know, he can use Weakening Curse and Vulnerability Hex, which both got buffed, by the way, to basically weaken the enemy team. I can even turn him with a Warlock into a big damage dealer with Burning Stars and Chaotic Offering, which we are going to need sometimes. And it's the fact that I can change him between these two different things. Even Aspirant now, even Aspirant could be really good on a couple of the bosses that we're going to have to do. So yeah, keep an eye on that, alright? But yeah, Occultist, he's coming in. Vanguard's always good. Alright, I think we're gonna make you a Deadeye on this one. So we're gonna be going fully ranged. For you... I think I want to make you a... I can make her a Surgeon, which makes her pretty good at healing, but it makes her melee. And I want to have a bit of a mix of both, if I can. So I might actually go with Alchemist here. Now, the minus 20% max health does look bad. I won't lie to you. It does look kinda rough. But the positives that she gets, especially the stun resist in this first boss, that's gonna be clutch. So I am going Alchemist on this one. I think I'm gonna make you a Ritualist for this one. So yeah, he's basically a secondary healer. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Everyone in this party has a way of healing. I can run Absinthe or Dead of Night on the Grave Robber, and Crush has built-in healing. which is incredible. Obviously, these two have weird reconstruction, which did get buffed. It's still not amazing, but it's better now. Of course, you know, it's Plague Doctor, she heals, okay? What do you want from me? Switching to future past me after this run was recorded, just to give you a bit of extra information while you watch the rest of the run, while I explain a few things that I maybe didn't explain too well before, and just some extra things about the run to give you a bit more information on that. So the reason why I went for Vanguard, Deadeye, Alchemist, and Ritualist as our hero paths is basically I'll explain them one by one. So Vanguard I picked because it gives him extra health, more damage, and riposte. I basically just wanted him to do more damage, right? Because our only other main damage dealer in this composition is the Grave Robber, who I did put into Deadeye, which basically just buffs all her range skills essentially, as well as weakening her melee ones, which is fine. I'm completely fine with that. So yeah, Vanguard I picked because we just needed more damage, really. The Plague Doctor can do damage, especially being an alchemist. She just does like loads and loads of blight, and yeah, it's alchemist is a weird one because you get a pretty bad negative with the minus HP, but honestly, she shouldn't be getting hit that much, especially when we have the man-at-arms who can defend her at a moment's notice, you know. So yeah, the minus HP, as I mentioned before, it looks bad, but it's really not that bad in the long run. Ritualist on the Occultist then was it basically he's like a support unit, right? So he's gonna keep debuffing the enemy whilst making it easier for the rest of the party to hit them and do even more damage to. That was the Ritualist function, and he also can heal when the Plague Doctor isn't able to, because like she needs healing herself, or you know, something like that. So that's why he was like that. But that brings me on to a different thing, which is quirks. So quirks can be good, can be bad. I'm sure you know that already. But the important thing about quirks, for this challenge in particular, is all their quirks that they pick up during the run, in the next run, they will have all those quirks going into the next one. So I was very conscious of this. So when I got the chance just before the mountain itself, I made sure to try and purge as many of those bad quirks as I could. And another thing that I'll be doing going forward in this run is reinforcing the good ones that we got. Like one of the ones that we ended up picking up on this run for the Grave Robber was Pyromaniac, which is not great when we want to go to places like the Sprawl, and a lot of the higher end enemies start getting burn resistance, and honestly having a whole turn where she can only do one action. So let's say she's on death's door, right, and now she suddenly has to throw, you know, a fire flask, you know. what am I gonna do? it's not good. So I had to purge that one as fast as I could, really. It didn't want to go easily, I don't think. But yeah, so that's why quirks are so important in this challenge run. So now we'll move on to what the strategy on the end boss for me was then. So for me, and this can help anyone, honestly. For me, you always want to take out the Lion Lock first, That's the one that prevents you from doing melee attacks, basically. And the reason why you don't want to leave the Lion Lock till last is because he's going to end up in position 1, and if you can't do melee attacks, you're kind of screwed, because there's not many non-melee attacks that can actually hit that position. So you always do Lion Lock first. The one that you leave to last, for the inverse reason, is the spear one. I forget the name of it, but you know, it's the one that looks like a bunch of spears and it prevents your ranged attacks. You leave that one till last because when it's in position 1, you can hit it with melee attacks and it's stopping you from doing the ranged ones, and no one cares. So then you have to make a decision after you've killed the Lion Lock, which is to take out the one that prevents you from stress healing, or the one that prevents you from healing. And that'll be very dependent on how your party is during that time. I think I elected to go for the stress one first when I did this, just because if your party, if one of your party members becomes fully stressed, they're gonna lose all their health. So yeah, it's pretty rough. I think the stress one is more dangerous than the healing one. But another thing that you also want to be aware of is every time you kill a lock, the others are going to get stronger, and the healing one also gives a burst of healing when it dies. So you want to kind of try and kill the locks kind of close to each other, so you want to like kill 2 locks in one round sometimes if you can, which I did aim for during this run. So yeah, we did end up beating this first act though, which I'm very happy with. It wasn't very difficult, but it's only the first act, and the first act is supposed to like ease you into the experience, you don't even have to get a trophy for the first act, So yeah, Act 2 was a lot more interesting because I have recorded Act 2. Act 2 was a lot more interesting, a couple scares in that one, so look forward to that. And yeah, if you enjoyed this type of content though, be sure to let me know by liking the video, subscribing, and all of that good stuff. Let me know what you enjoyed, what you hated, comment it all down below. I love reading all the comments. And yeah, I'll see you next time for part 2 of this, hopefully. Take care. Bye bye. And boom.